Hello guys, I'm Nelson from Nel City Technologies. Welcome back to our channel. Thank you so much to our loyal viewers, to our loyal clients. You've given us so much of support, and also some viewers have already come to our shop. We really appreciate. And to our new subscribers, welcome to the family. Kindly watch all our videos, comment, give us your views on what we've done so far, and give us your views or take on what you need us to cover. Kindly subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and share our videos to your friends and family. Welcome to our new video. We are covering another interesting practical topic that is relatable to everyone. Whether you're owning a system unit or you're planning to own one, this video is for you. Kindly keep it hooked till the end. So we want to do something regarding knowing the parts of a computer first. Then we also look at what entails upgrading a system unit. We look at all the components on how to upgrade a computer system unit. And lastly, we'll do a relatable part on how to perform computer maintenance, or what you are required to do during the computer maintenance process. So let's dive right into the video. Kindly keep hooked till the end and hope you get to learn something. Now, we are starting by looking at the parts, each part with its function, and we'll start with the very most important part, the motherboard. The motherboard, as most of you normally hear that word, is this blue surface here. Motherboard is the part that carries all these other components, from the capacitors to the RAMs to all other gadgets. That's the motherboard. Secondly, we'll look at this. This is the power supply unit. So this is what distributes power to the motherboard and other components. As you can see, all these cables are from the power unit. So normally you insert your power cable at this point, your power cable from the socket at this point, so that it gets to the power unit, which then distributes the power to the motherboard and other gadgets like the hard disk and so on. Now I want to show you the hard disk, how a desktop hard disk looks like. So it is tied in place, so we have to remove all these screws. And remember, when you are trying to operate or do maintenance in a computer, kindly ensure you've taken the precautions that we've always talked about. There's a previous video we did on how to open a laptop. Shouldn't be in power, so kindly adhere to the precautions. So basically, this is the hard disk. For example, for this machine, it's 1 terabyte in size. This is the storage. All the files are stored in this device. Connected to it is a SATA cable. This is the SATA cable, this one, and it also gets connected to the power source is from the power supply unit. So this cable originates from this unit. When you plug this machine in power, it will supply power to this hard disk. That's why we said The power supply unit supplies power to the motherboard and other components like the hard disk. So here's the power source. This SATA cable is what transfers data. So all the data when you're running your Windows OS or Linux, the data passes this. So this shares information signals from the motherboard to the hard disk. Okay. So I'll have to place it aside to avoid any damages. We have this part. This is the DVD drive. This is where you insert the CDR or DVD-Rs, the discs. So it's also connected to the motherboard just like the hard disk. It has a SATA cable and depends on power from the power supply unit. So you can see from this other end the connections right there. So this is the DVD drive. Now this part, this is a fan, and this whole component here is the heatsink. Heatsink is the metallic part, and feel that. So it helps to dissipate heat from the processor. So I'll remove it for us to see the processor. So this is how the heatsink looks like. Heatsink is the metallic part. Then we have fan to help dissipate the heat from the processor. This is the CPU part, the processor part. So like we have details on the processor. You move closer. So you can see this is a Core i7 processor, 4th gen, with the 3.6 speed. It's a good one. Basically, that's the processor. And also we have the RAMs at this point. So many people normally wonder, where are the RAMs located? So RAMs, like this machine has to, for you to remove the RAM, there are these two on both sides. There are these two pieces of some white plastic. So you push it aside, push aside that way. So I can comfortably remove the RAM. So you can also see here, these are 4GB PC3 type of RAM. So I can also remove this other one. I press on both ends of the white part like that. So when you push it, it comes out automatically. So you can see. And if it comes to the part of returning it, we'll just align this notch with this part. There's a notch somewhere there, here. So ensure it's aligned. So you start by this hook should move to the other side of the white part and ensure it's also aligned to the. So if well placed, just press it down. This will clip. So you see, it has clipped. This other one also, I'll align it, align, and place it horizontally in a good manner and press it down to clip. So our RAM, we have managed to remove and return the RAM. Nice. So another crucial part is this. From the comment section, kindly tell us what this is. Let me get to remove it. So first you unclip it here, then lift it up, just like the RAMs, like that. So finally, For those who normally wonder what a GPU is, this is the graphical processing unit. It's the graphics, basically graphics card. That's how it looks. So you can see here, this GT 720 1GB. This is a 1GB graphic card. So sizes, the graphics cards are just named like the RAMs. We have 1GB, 2GB, 4GB, 8GB, and so on and so forth. So it's basically named in terms of sizing. So a computer with an added graphical unit helps to make it easy while rendering videos or making graphical designs. So leave that at that. Then this other one is basically the CMOS battery, helps to ensure the clock is up to date. I'll not go into much details so as not to bring confusions. The first normally have the switch for the DVD drive and the button right here. So button will be placed depending on the type of CPU you are dealing with. Then at the back we normally have the ports. We normally have the ports like these ones for the PS2 mouse and keyboard, the VGA, the DVI port, the HDMI, Ethernet and USB cables, and aux cables and power cables. So the ports will vary depending on the type of gadget you have. Some will even have the Type-C ports. For example, the graphic card also has different types of ports: the VGA, the HDMI, and the DVI port, depending on the type of screen you have. Some screens will have the HDMI, so you'll have to either have an HDMI cable from here, or you can convert this to HDMI or convert this to HDMI. So different screens will determine the type of cable source to have at this point. So the same ports here are the same ports here. So if this was to be returned back to the position, you can now see there are extra ports at this point. So we have the ones that comes with the motherboard and the ones that come with the GPU at this point. So we have several other components that we'll talk about in our next video, because today I only wanted you to understand the major parts without bringing so much of a confusion. So these other parts like the capacitors and their work, the diodes, the BIOS, we'll look at them in our next video. So secondly, we now want to discuss what it entails to upgrade a machine. You find that most of them normally don't come with the graphical unit. So this is a component that people normally add as an upgrade to the machine. This one is normally added as an upgrade. Most of the system units come without this. So the higher the size of memory, the higher the size, let's say 2 GB, the better the graphic size, the better the rendering process. So you find, as an example, let's say it's 4 GB of graphic card. So you'll find when I'm playing my games, it will be so easier and smooth than having none or having 1 GB of graphic card. So you also find this graphics card, as you can see here, they are also categorized depending on, just like RAMs, we have DDR3, we have DDR4, DDR5. So they are also categorized just like RAM in sizes and these DDR levels. 3, 5, it depends on which one your machine will support. So while upgrading a machine, adding a graphical unit helps improve video rendering and graphical design processing. So that's one upgrade you can do. Secondly, another upgrade you can do in such a machine is improving the size of RAM. The higher the size, the better the speed and performance of the machine. So you find, I'm assuming my machine is 4 GB. If I upgrade, it becomes 8. So for some cases, you'll find the RAM slots are 4. We have 4 RAM slots. So you can upgrade each for 4 GB to have 16, or you can have 8 GB in 2 slots. So it will depend on what you afford, what you can afford, and what you have at that moment. For example, for this case, the client has 2 slots and 2 pieces of RAMs, 4 GB each. So this machine has 8 GB of RAM. So upgrading the RAM means improving the performance of your machine. Today we are doing it in a layman's language for all of us to understand. Another upgrade you can do, so you can see for this case, this machine has a 1 TB hard disk. But looking at the performance, with 1 TB hard disk, the performance won't be that good even if we improve on RAM size. So the best thing we can do is upgrading. Just like in our previous video, we talked about solid state drive, SSD. So we can upgrade the machine using an SSD drive. So by using an SSD, we'll have to either one, we'll replace the hard disk and use an SSD, or we can slave the hard disk so that the operating system will be installed in the SSD drive and the hard disk will just be for storage. So we have those two options. We can install both or eliminate the hard disk and have the SSD. The essence of SSD is generally about speed. A machine having an SSD will be of higher speed and value compared to the one having a hard disk. In our previous video, we looked at the differences between the SSD and hard disk. So if you kindly haven't watched it, kindly look at it and you will understand why is SSD faster than hard disk. I know some of you will wonder, this 1 TB, why are we eliminating it and using a 256 GB? With the essence is we are looking at performance over storage. Okay, hope you've understood that. And lastly, in some cases, people also normally upgrade the processor. So for this case, you have to look at the compatibility. That's the first thing to look at. Now I'm assuming, let's say my machine, this CPU has a Core i3 processor. I can upgrade a Core i3 processor to Core i5 or Core i7 depending on the compatibility. So I'll simply do this. You push this clip here, push it out like that, then back like that, then you'll be able to have this. So you can actually lift this from here slowly, and now this is basically the processor and how it looks like. So different generations of machines will have different shapes at this center part and appearances. And also, while removing this, kindly be careful not to distort these pins around here. You can see there are some pins, they are normally sensitive, so You shouldn't use any sharp objects around this point, because when one is folded, this machine will no longer function. So, and when returning it back, normally you look at, we have this part with an arrow, okay, and we also have these parts with the notches. So when inserting it back, you ensure you look at the side with notches. Normally come to the part with some nodes. You can see these two nodes. So when returning it back, I'll place it on one side of the node and down. You can see it's inserted well. Then you return back this metallic part like that. It locks at this point, so this is the lock here. Then push it down where it was before. So you can also upgrade a machine depending on the processor, from a lower processor to a higher processor, as long as it meets the compatibility measure. So you look at the shape, the generations, and so on. So finally, I'll basically talk of computer maintenance. So while maintaining a computer, always ensure it's discharged from power. There is no power source. Secondly, ensure you discharge yourself. It's always recommended to touch something metallic that's on the ground so that you discharge. That's a precaution so that you don't short the components of the computer. But generally, just begin with the screwdriver so that you don't short like the capacitors. You don't, for example, when I'm doing this is wrong. You shouldn't keep on moving your screwdriver to the wrong places. So just begin on that. And for most organizations and personal computers, always ensure your computer is clean. You should be dusting your computer using a blower. You should always use the right tool. Okay, I recently had a client who was asking, can I use a hair dryer to blow a machine? So you find the kind of heat removed by hair dryer can spoil most of the components in this kind of gadget. So always use a blower. If you visit us at Nel City, we sell blowers at very affordable prices. So as an institution, you should have one so that you use it to clean your computers. You can also use brush to clean around some components, because most cases people leave their desktops to be too dusty until even for during the repairing process, you find it having a hard time to do the repair, or you find the dust have shot things like the RAMs. So just begin on that. And finally, always ensure your computer is up to date and installed with antivirus to protect your software end of the machine. So these computer maintenance processes are very essential. Always ensure you maintain your computer every 3 months, dusting it, or if you feel you can't be able to do that, call someone who is an expert or someone experienced in doing such kind of maintenance, so as to avoid causing damages to your machine. If you can't do it, call someone to do it for you. At Nel City Technologies, we do computer repair and maintenance practices at affordable prices. You can call us and we can help you do it. We can also guide you on how to do it. Thank you so much for watching to this point. We are Nel City Technologies, located at Ambwere Furaha Building, first floor in Kakamega Town. So kindly visit our shop for all enquiries, and also we sell everything related to your computer world, from desktops, laptops, and all computer accessories. We also do hardware repairs and maintenance. Kindly visit us and you'll get sorted. Kindly visit us for the best deals in town at affordable prices. We are Nel City Technologies, and thank you so much for watching the video to this point. Kindly, to our new subscribers, kindly share the video widely to your friends and families. Like and comment. Give us your opinion on how the video was, and if you have any other thing to add concerning what we can improve on, kindly leave us a comment. You can also comment on the kind of videos you need us to be posting in our channel. And also, I hope you've learned that you should not use the wrong tool to service your computer. A hairdryer and a computer blower are two different tools. So use the right tool to service your computer to give it more life. We are Nel City Technologies.